Dear Indians, respected guests, and all our seniors who are attending this seminar today, we are very thankful to all of you to come on such a short notice, and we are honored to have you all here. Thank you very much. We are starting our program with the Qirat. It will be recited by Mr. Yasir Abdullah. It is Surah Mulk, the first ruku of it. Mr. Yasir Abdullah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير إذا ألقوا فيها سمعوا لها شهيقا وهي تفور تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير إن الذين يخشون ربهم بالغيب لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير وأسروا قولكم أو اجهروا به إنه عليم بذات الصدور ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير صدق الله العظيم.
Subhanallah. First of all, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the Team Eaton, who has sponsored this program and we appreciate their help to organize this one on such a short notice, and we are really appreciating that one. We all are here who are gathered here, okay, except our guest. Most of us are from NED University of Engineering and Technology. First of all, what was and what is NED Engineering University? I would like to tell you a little history about it. In 1922, March, a college got affiliated with Bombay University, and it started doing its engineering section, which was civil engineering. And when this happened, it continued like a NED government college for engineering, and at that time 78 students were there. In 1977, the college was upgraded and it turns into Engineering University of Technology. And it was named as NED Engineering University of Technology. And right now, it has a total strength of 8,000 plus students and around 8 or 12 faculties which are working right now. And so you can see the journey which started in 1922 and till now, which is 2017. The journey which started from a college having 78 students now turned into a university having 8,000 plus students. During this time, we had so many vice chancellors, around 6 or 7 vice chancellors, and the current vice chancellor is Mr. Sarosh Lodhi, who is now the very active member and very active engineer who is upgrading, who is doing a lot of things for the promotion, for the upgradation of the engineering university. I will appreciate all of you should have a clap for the engineering university. We all are proud.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
I would like to show a video. It is a special message sent to all NEDians by our Vice Chancellor, Mr. Sarosh Lodhi. I would like to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Ahmad K. Al-Mulhim. Please put a round of applause for him. Thank you very much, sir, for your presence. It is an honor for all of us. I would like to play the video message by our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Sarosh Lodhi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I am grateful to the NED Alumni Forum of Saudi Arabia for providing me with this opportunity to express my feelings about the work that they've been doing. I'm extremely grateful to the forum for voluntarily coming forward in support of the students and providing them with the scholarship. Like all the other alumni associations spread all over the world, the Alumni Association or the Alumni Forum in Saudi Arabia is doing similar things. Apart from providing scholarship, I came to know, and it is heartening to know that the people in Saudi Arabia, the NED alumni, are actually preparing to provide seminars and train our students and faculty and give them the exposure that they have acquired through their international exposure in Saudi Arabia and other countries. To me, the most important and the most valuable thing is the voluntary support, unconditional support which the NED alumni are providing from Saudi Arabia. I do understand that the money that they're contributing is their hard-earned money, and the time that they're contributing is also very precious. And all this will add value to the university, to the faculty, and to the students. The seminars that we have spoken about to be provided by the NED alumni in Saudi Arabia will obviously be very helpful in providing exposure to the professional practice, not only in Pakistan, but in other countries like Saudi Arabia. There are other possibilities that we have explored, and I look forward to have closer and much better interaction with the forum in future. In the end, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the NED University Forum, Alumni Forum in Saudi Arabia for providing us with this opportunity, and I look forward towards closer collaboration and meaningful interaction. Thank you very much.
There is another video we want to play. It's from our ex-president, NED Engineering Forum, who just left
It's a great
for
honor.
Canada and could not attend this program today, but he sent you all his blessings and his message, Mr. Javed Inam.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It's a great honor for me to talk to you people tonight from a distant place. I'm right now in Canada, but the distance doesn't mean anything to me. we are together, and I wish I was part of you. Our hearts are together, and they're just beating up together too. I may not take long because I know there are very intelligent people after me, and they'll be talking to you in a longer stretch. Just a brief history of the forum. The NED Forum was founded in 1991, and in the beginning we had almost 50 members. The first dinner we arranged in the Mam of Roy, and most of them came in. But I do remember the time where we had the membership gone to 250 within Eastern Province only. These engineers were working in very high positions. They were kind of decision makers, and they had a lot of contribution in building up the Saudi Arabia. So all of you are like, they have done a great job, and I personally feel that you have contributed towards the kingdom as well as towards Pakistan. We basically formed this forum on the concept of NED is for NEDians. Whether these NEDians are in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia or in Pakistan, we are there to help them out. I remember two major occasions where the forums supported these people. We gave 2 scholarships for master's program for the students of NED Engineering University, and one lady engineer is in Canada working there and helping out the NEDians. We also raised funds to support a cancer patient in the NED, and it helped her coming out of the problem. The new XCOM is coming up, and they have been doing very good work in the past. They are intelligent people, aggressive, dynamic, dedicated, and I believe that they, with your help, will bring this forum to a new height. And I really wish them good luck. We are together, and and we should work hand in hand, and we should make the bond to our alma mater stronger and stronger. And keep in mind, we are never defeated unless we give up. So what I say, to shoot for the moon, you will sure land among stars. In the end, I would like to thank all the office bearers of the forum, Asim, Amin, Amir, Javed, Fahad, Shuja, and Kamran. They have been really struggling, and they conducted 2 seminars in the past. This is the 3rd one, as well as they have issued 2 e-newsletter you may have received, and the one is coming in the month of December. So I have my best wishes for everybody, and I am very confident that this new team will keep the legacy on and go to a new height. Thank you and good luck.
जावेद साहब के लिए से मैं ये कहूँगा, इस शहर में कितने चेहरे थे, कुछ याद नहीं, कुछ भूल गए. एक शख्स किताबों जैसा था, वो शख्स ज़बानी याद हुआ. Javed Saab was with us for a long time. He was our mentor, and he was true inspiration for all of us to how to lead this forum, move forward. Now, I would like to invite our colleagues to talk about what is NED Alumni Forum is, what we are doing, what our passions are, and what actually we are aiming to move forward. I would say that हम वो नहीं कि जिनको ज़माना बना गया. I will invite Mr. Mohammad Javed Shuja and Sayyid Ashar Zaidi.
Assalamu alaikum, fellow NEDian and dear guest. As Amin Bhai mentioned, NED University is one of the leading engineering institute in Karachi, Pakistan. NIDAF, NED Alumni Forum, is a total non-profit organization. NED Alumni Forum was restructured in 2016 but founded in 1991, as you just saw in the Javed Saab message. It's a professional group of engineers from NED University of Engineering Technology who are currently working in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Our purpose is to develop networking, knowledge sharing, and professional development of all young engineers throughout the kingdom and in Pakistan.
NED Alumni Forum has a committee named NED Liaison. And NED Liaison have a vision to share the knowledge and experience of professional engineers with our students in NED University currently studying. And we also have a mission to bridge the gap between the academics and industry by providing scholarships, trainings, technical training, seminars, and not only seminars, but also a career counseling, as endorsed by our Vice Chancellor and Mr. Javed. We also have a vision to partnering with our similar kind of alumni like Philippine Engineering Alumni or Saudi Engineering Councils. So as Mr. Asim, our president, has given us a seminar on, as attended the seminar with Saudi Engineering Council with Mr. Mulhim was arranged, and Mr. Asim has given a presentation over there. So this is our vision of NED Liaison.
As Ashar mentioned, NIDAF has a vision to continuously contribute towards the NED University students in pursuing their studies. And as Mr. Vice Chancellor Sarosh Lodhi acknowledged, we are currently devising a mechanism to award the scholarships. Presently, we visited the NED University and we initiated this process already. And we are proud to announce that this year only we are awarding 8 scholarships for first-year engineering students.
I would like to highlight some activities of our NIDAF seminars. This is the one we have for our, after the restructuring of our NIDAF. This is the first seminar. We have launched an e-magazine a couple of months ago. We had arranged a meet and greet last quarter, and then we have a plan to publish a directory of engineers, directory of professional engineers, NEDians, and we will soon be requiring your profiles with pictures. We also have arranged technical meetings, such as today's one, the social gatherings, welfare events, and the trainings.
You can also find us in the social media. As you can see is our www.ned4.com. We are on the Facebook page with 8,000 plus likes. We have the WhatsApp group, and most of you are in, I believe, in that group. If you are not, then just contact one of the core committee member and you'll just get into that group. We are soon be launching our YouTube channel. And as we speak now, we are live.
Live on Facebook.
We are live on Facebook right now. Thank you. So now I will give back the mic to...
Well, executive, before we invite the executive committee, I just would like to highlight executive committee. This is the executive committee members, and we also have a publication committee as well who is helping us to launching the e-seminar, e-catalog, publish the magazines, as well as we have a plan to publish a proper magazine every quarter. Thank you.
Thank you.
To invite Mr. Imran Sheikh, Fahad Karim Khan, and Mr. Ali Al-Sukairi of our sponsor team from Team Eaton. Initially, Mr. Imran Sheikh, Mr. Ali Sukairi, and we are missing the third one. He's coming. Let's start with Mr. Imran.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. I thank you for the opportunity to be part of this prestigious forum. And I would like to also take this opportunity to thank Mr. Mulem again for blessing this evening. I know, sir, you have a very, very busy schedule, but I thank you again for joining. My name is Imran, and I am the country manager for Saudi Arabia and Bahrain for the Eaton, Kraus-Heinz, and Beeline business. As we go through the presentation with me and my team, we will start with an overview from my side about the company, and then my team will go through. We have a lot of products, but we will try to keep it short. And in our session today, we have just included the NEC versus IEC, some discussion on that, and obviously the lighting, LED lighting technology. All right, so as I begin, I think, Ali, so let me start with a short video to give you an overview, and then I will go through some of the slides on the overview, and we'll take it from there. Okay?
Every day, all over the world, more leading companies are turning to the same company. We are Eaton. We don't manufacture power. We help our customers manage power more safely, more reliably, more efficiently, and more sustainably. Every day, all over the world, more leading companies are turning to the same company. We are Eaton. We don't manufacture power. We help our customers manage power more safely, more reliably, more efficiently, and more sustainably. We deliver electrical solutions that reduce energy use, improve power reliability, and make the places we live and work safer and more comfortable. Eaton is a leading power management company for electrical, hydraulics, aerospace, vehicle, and filtration. Across the world, Eaton's Kraus-Heinz operates in partnership with their customers, giving them access to a unique and wide-ranging network of industry specialists to meet each individual organization's needs. These can be organizations in the following markets: oil and gas, marine, chemistry, and manufacturing, mining and refining, renewables. Founded in 1906 as Concordia Electric AG, we produced the first lamps for use in mines susceptible to fire damp that fulfilled the highest requirements posed on the source of light. 1912, SEAG awarded prize for safest mine lamp in the world. In 1952, the production of explosion-protected light fitting in Bochum met new market requirements. For more than 100 years, we've developed and manufactured electrical products that provide safety, productivity, innovation, and efficiency in hazardous, industrial, and commercial environments. Let's profit from our expertise and knowledge in explosion protection and industrial products. Providing harsh industrial and hazardous area illumination for decades with conventional lamps, we are now focusing on innovative LED light sources in cooperation with Eaton's LED Technology Center. All over the world, we develop, design, and produce LED lighting solutions as the #1 supplier for linear lighting fixtures, floodlights, and portable lighting. Local control and power distribution units with flexible and modular configurations. Innovative and intelligent IEC products that safely and efficiently control power and protect circuits in explosive, wet, and corrosive environments worldwide. With our plugs and receptacles range, we provide simple and secure powering solutions, extensive configurations, custom capabilities, and numerous interlocking designs. Eaton Kraus-Heinz division provides safe and reliable solutions for fixed and portable power applications. Well-engineered solutions for your application. We support you during the whole process, from your inquiry until the documentation is finished and products are ready for use. With more than 30 sales offices in Europe and production sites in Everbach, Germany, Terraza, Spain, Sheerness, United Kingdom, Arad, Romania, and Dammam in the Middle East, we are ready to manufacture high-quality products. In today's economic and health and safety conscious environments, it's crucial to deploy products which are reliable, safe, and cost-effective, thus reducing downtime, decreasing operational expenditure, and helping to increase a plant's profitability. We manufacture such products with precise production for your safety. The knowledge and expertise we leverage every day to help your operation run smoother and safer lies not in one mind, but in thousands of Eaton Krauss Heinz employees. We continuously collaborate with customers to ensure that you have the services and support needed to reach optimal performance. Whatever your industry sector, we know the codes and standards. Our products are built to meet and exceed certifications applicable to locations around the world. With thousands of products ready to perform to the highest standards of safety and reliability under the most demanding conditions, we have become the single source for electrical and safety equipment globally. We brighten your application, connect your equipment, and switch on your future.
Okay, so gentlemen, I will give you the overview of Eaton, and then I will bring it down to what the division that I represent, and then we will go down through to the products that we want to present during this technical seminar. So Eaton is a $20 billion company. It's traded on NASDAQ and as well as on the New York Stock Exchange. We have almost over 100,000 employees globally, and the revenues which were there over in 2016 were over $2 billion. So some of the overview of some of the products that we do go forward with is obviously the power distribution side of things. So things like panel board, switch racks, circuit breakers, fuses, transformers, you name it. Eaton has the capability, and we offer those product ranges. Then we have the different UPS systems as backup power protection, and you have all the. We will not go through every product today because of the shortage of time, but we'll take from there. Lighting and security, that's another group of products that Eaton manufactures. Structural solutions and wiring devices, and solutions for the hazardous environment, which is basically coming for the low voltage segment of the business. So we will be going through some of the ranges in the hazardous area requirements. Control and automation, obviously that's a big thing that Eaton does. And obviously engineering services that we offer. We have different segments, and our industrial segment overview obviously is there, where we are offering into the markets which are aerospace, automotive, trucks, hydraulics, and filtration. These are the brands that are represented under the Eaton banner, so you might know a lot of those brands as you might have used them over your professional career. So you have Busman there, Beeline, Cooper obviously is there, and a lot of that, MTL, SIAG, so we've spoken about some of them during the overview. Just to give you a brief history of the brands which are coming under the Eaton banner and how well established they are. So we started with 1833 with SIAG, Krauss Heinz. It became later as Cooper, but the brands that eventually Eaton acquired had a long history. All right, so we are not in the business that started just yesterday, so it's over 100 years that we've been in the market. So in 1833, we had Krauss-Heinz, then Westinghouse obviously was bought over by Eaton. So you see a lot of those brands and the history behind them. And it's been a long and successful voyage for us. Eaton's electrical sector, which is where our business falls into, and a lot of you are electrical engineers. We have customers in over 175 countries, thousands and thousands of engineers who work with us. Obviously, the salespeople are there as well, but we have almost representing globally, and the last count we had almost about 12,000 locations. These are not manufacturing facilities, but these are 12,000 locations globally that we are in currently. Major manufacturing facilities and assembly locations. So I don't remember the number. Ali, do you know how many we have? It keeps growing. So currently we have 140 manufacturing facilities globally, which is primarily covering the complete globe. So you have North America as such, then you have South America, Europe, and obviously Middle East is an important area for us. So we have 2 facilities, one in Dubai and one in Dammam. So just to give you an overview, we are committed to doing business right, first time, first off, the right way. We are recognized, obviously, in the first 500 S&P index. So we are traded on the NASDAQ, like I was saying, as well as on the New York Stock Exchange. And we have been one of the Corporate Responsibility Magazine's 100 Best Corporate Citizens since 2007 through to 2015. We are a very, very ethical company. And I can tell you that right off the bat, right? We would always do the right thing, which is right thing for us and the right thing for the customers. And we will make sure that our code of ethics is very, very, we take that very seriously. Safety, obviously, in every facility, whether it is in South America or it is in Dammam or is it in North America, anywhere, we make sure that the people that work with us return home safely the way they would as if they had left home in the morning. So safety in our plants and in our operation facilities as well as in our offices is taken very, very seriously. So now coming down, where we are right now, Eaton has 5 divisions, right? And we are part of the electrical division. And it ranges from aerospace, electrical, hydraulics, vehicles, and filtration. So we being part of the electrical division are representing here, and this is the business that we do in Saudi Arabia. We manage 2 business segments, which is the B-line division, which is primarily, and we'll go through a couple of slides with that, and Eaton's Krauss-Heinz division. So first off, Eaton's Krauss-Heinz division, it covers, Krauss-Heinz is a brand which covers anything to do with low voltage hazardous area requirements. So whether it is lighting, whether it is panel boards, junction boxes, plugs and receptacles, anything under the Krauss-Heinz banner is covered under the Krauss-Heinz division. The markets that we focus on are obviously oil and gas, mining and refining, chemical, marine, pharmaceuticals, you name it, wherever there's a hazardous, harsh environment, Krauss-Heinz is there to give you a product and a solution. Just a brief overview, we'll run through the product presentation, and I don't want to repeat what my team would be saying out there, but it's anything like I was saying, from lighting on to MEDC products, junction boxes, panel boards. The other division that I represent here is the Eaton's B-line division. It's basically, it was founded in 1956 in Highland. So again, It's a long journey with all the products and the brands we represent. It's primarily covering all your cable management support systems. So cable tray, Ali? Whether it is cable tray, go to the next slide. Yeah, so it's either cable tray, cabinets, cleats, anything to do with cable management. We manufacture all of this in our facility in the second industrial area in Daman. Last slide on my portion is obviously specifications and certifications, which as we all know are very important to the safety of wherever our products go. So we have all the specifications and certifications that are required by the industry. With that, I'll hand it over to my team member Fahad, who's going to run you through NEC versus IEC. Just a little brief on that, and we'll take it from there.
Good evening, guys. As it is already explained by our country manager, Mr. Imran Sheikh, since Eaton is a global company, and we are representing here Eaton divisions, Crosshinds and Beeline. So the subject which I have chosen here is to discuss how the specification for hazardous area is working out, since this is the whole philosophy of Crosshind business. All our products are developed under these specifications. Normally, the classifications are divided into two areas. One is IEC and NEC, and Eaton is following both. The product coming out from our product which are having origin from USA are based on an EC standard, which are National Electric Code. The overview of this presentation is that we are going to discuss National Electric Code, how did we get there, comparison of divisions and zones, and question and answers, if any. Basically, what is the hazardous area? Hazardous area is an area which is having a presence of, number one, flammable gases, liquids or vapors. As an example, the oil and gas field, refinery, petrochemical plants, combustible dusts which are present normally in cement plants or steel mills, and easily ignitable fibers which are mainly in industries where we are manufacturing clothing or cotton industries and all that. The protection techniques we are using in electrical equipment are either explosion-proof apparatus, which we are enclosing all electrical components which are having contacts where they are mainly sparking, making and breaking. Dust ignitable ignition proof equipment, factory sealing, purging systems, or intrinsically safe equipment. Basically, before going into that, we have to understand the elements which can create an explosion. And normally, in order to create an explosion, what we need? A fuel, oxygen, and ignition. The idea is that, like, is an example. If you are just inside a fuel station, refueling your car, normally we have seen the instruction written, switch off the engines, switch off the mobiles, because these are the devices which are having all electrical circuitry inside, especially cars, where the spark plugs are continuously creating sparks. So the idea is that if fuel, oxygen, and ignition source are all together, it can create an explosion. Okay. Source of ignitions. The source of ignitions are arcing and sparking devices, switches, which are switches, circuit breakers, motor starters, or sparking metals, heat, static electricity. And about the area classification, what we can say that we have area divided in class 1, class 2, class 3. However, if we can see that the class 1 is the area which is highly flammable, which covers the 80% of the explosion proof equipment and all that. Class 2 is basically combustible dust, which is mainly 10%. Class 3 is for the ignitable fibers, which are only 5%. Area classification, which are divisions, which is, by the way, these are all covered under NEC. So division 1, it is normally or continuously hazardous, and division 2 is not in the normal condition, which means division 1 is like the area where we have the continuous process going on, and division 2 is the area where the process is not continuous, like storage areas and all that. The percentage of hazardous area. The zone 2, the division 2 is covers the most of the hazardous location, while the division 1 is only 10%. Area classification is further divided into groups, which are groups under class 1 we have gas groups, groups A, B, C, D. Under class 2 the groups are E, F, G, while the class 3 where the ignitable fibers are, it contains no groups at all. Area classification summary. Basically class 1 area is divided into division 1 and division 2 also, and the subgroups are group A, B, C, D, which are the gas groups. Okay. So my colleague is telling me over here, this is how we are writing the classification over the products. If you see any explosion proof product, this is how the classification is written. First we are mentioning the class, then what type of division it is, either division 1 or division 2, and then the gas groups, or in division 2 or the metallic dust or other group. Now this is a further information on groups, which is like group A, which is acetylene, which is basically highly flammable gas. Group B, which is hydrogen-based gases. Group C and Group D. So these are the flammable gases which are available in the process environment. Now this is the definition of a division 1, which is showing that ignitable concentration which are existing under normal conditions, which is basically part of the core process, where the process is running 24/7. And the division 2 is basically confined flammable liquid or gases under positive ventilation, normally the storage areas, which is under normal condition are not hazardous. This is another chart, which is basically temperature T ratings. If you see, the T1 rating is having the highest temperature, while T6 having the lowest temperature. This is the surface temperature of the product itself. If the product having like T rating T1, this is the surface temperature of the product can go 450 degrees C. If you are considering an acetylene or hydrogen environment, where the ignition temperature of that particular gas is much lower. Like just as an example, hydrogen is something around 90 to 95 degrees. So that's why the product need to be certified for T6 rating, that surface temperature won't exceed 85 degrees C. Earlier, see now after the inception of NEC 505, the UL standards also accepting the IEC certifications, which are class 1, zone 0, zone 1 and zone 2 location. If you see this, that this articles cover requirement for zone classification. The zone classification can be used as an alternative to the division classifications. other specifications which are used widely in the industry are IEC standards, which are mainly European. European are divided in 3 zones, not likely as UL standard where we are having only division 1 and division 2. Here we are having zone 0, which is in layman term, it is continuously long. The chances of hazards are widely present. Zone 0, which is occasionally, and zone 2 is short, or you can see in other words, very rare. Basically, who classifies hazardous areas? As per the article 500-4, it is electrical inspector or fire marshal, or the guys which basically are non-engineers but are professionals. However, after the implementation of Article 505, or we can say when the Article 505 is introduced, this is now this is the total domain of registered professional engineer to certify the products. If you see the comparison of divisions and zones, in UL standard we are having division, while in zones we have zone 0 and zone 1. So if we are comparing that, division 1 is covering both zone 0 and zone 1, while division 2 is equal to zone 2. But the occurrence is not as same as in division 1 and division 2, where we have seen that the division 2 is 90% and division 1 is almost 10%. However, here division 2 is only 33%, while division 1 is the most, which is 65%, and the zone classification for 0 is very less than 2%. This is the point to be noted. In UL standard, like if you see the American products or the products which are certified under UL are much bulky and rugged. The reason is that the safety factor is 4. So they are tested 4 times of their capacity, while in IEC standard, the safety factor is 1.5 only. This is how the IEC X specification to be found on various product lines, if you see that one, and how the notations they are mentioning. If the origin is European, it is simply EX, and if you see the US origin, it is having a suffix added as A, so it will be AE. IEC designations. If you see how is the gas groups basically, the hazardous categories, gas groups, class 1, which is having group A, B, C, D, which is equivalent in IEC standard group 2C, 2B, and 2A. So going from A to D, we are going from highest to lowest. Similarly, from 2C to 2A, it is the same case. Similarly, the class. Now, this is the portfolio of our product. We are manufacturing control stations, panel boards, and enclosures, motor controllers, and we are also manufacturing customized product based on the client requirement. This is a snapshot how the product line in NEC looks like and how the product lines in IEC look like. If you can see the comparison, you will see that the American products are much heavy duty. The reason behind is the same, that reason where the product are tested 4 times of their capacity, while in IEC, each and individual equipment need to be protected. We are utilizing the individual component inside is IECX certified and are all encapsulated, while in American product line mainly the focus is on the enclosures, but the regular components are the safe area component, like breaker. You can utilize a normal commercial breaker inside. In IEC, the breaker has to be encapsulated. This is a typical type of, if you see the first row, NEMA 7, these are the American standards. The second is basically based on IEC standard, and the third one is mainly industrial, which are basically non-certified for the hazardous application, but for the safe area application. These are the material finishes we are utilizing. By the way, all our products are having explosion-proof certifications with all these material finishes. We are utilizing Cryodon, which is a GRP material, glass reinforced polymers. GRP material, epoxy-coated metallic items. We are using copper-free aluminum or iron alloys. and stainless steel mainly. So now I hand it over to my colleague Ali Al Sukeri for LED lighting presentation.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ali Al Sukairi. I'm actually the key account manager for Aramco account, Sabic account in Eaton, Krausheim, and Beeline business. I'll go through the LED lighting technology. Why we are focusing more in the LED lighting technology. It's different criteria. It's not similar to the incandescent, not similar to the fluorescent, not similar to the HID where we are familiar with. That's why there is a technology behind it. LED is not a new one. LED since 2009 in the market. However, we cannot utilize it to use it everywhere. After 2012, they start to introduce it to the market by upgrading that LED, mixing with array. Before we have that, if you go to any stadium, you will find the board that's showing the score. That's an LED, and it's very old model. But we cannot use the red or blue or green for our home or for our application in the factory or whenever. They came with mixing that color and came with one color that's similar to the daylight color or similar to the incandescent or whatever. This is behind the technology. This is a real picture here. And you can see the difference between identical vessels. The middle one is LED. And these two, it's high pressure sodium. What's happened here actually, the one here burned. And when they install the new one, it's exactly similar design, same quantity of fixtures here, but they apply the LED here. And see how is the difference with the LED. This is in US, California. This is another application that we have it with the rigs, and this is one of the rigs that used, actually one of them here in Saudi Arabia also. One here will show you something if you know about or you hear about CRI, color redundant index. What is the color redundant index? The color redundant index is the quality of the color. For example, I'm wearing white top here, and with the light here, if it's yellow, you will saw me quite yellow my top. It's not similar when you saw me in the day or in the sunlight. So this is the color redundant index. We are taking a measuring with the sunlight. It's the 100%. So we say the CRI is 100, and based on that we go and calculate the CRI in each fixture. If you go to the fluorescent, the white one, fluorescent is between 70 to 90% to 90 CRI. High pressure sodium is around 60 because of the yellowness in it. Incandescent is the worst. It's 40. In the LED, we can reach more than 90 based on the color temperature that we are going to use in the LED. So this is a real one, a real picture. This is in Abu Dhabi, where we utilize LED here and high pressure sodium here. This is the real color. You cannot see the grass here. As Mr. Fahad said and talked about harsh and hazard environment and how we use our product in harsh and hazard environment. LED having all electronics and electrical component inside it. And in order to use that component in harsh and hazard environment, put it in a house, sealed house, IB rating, that's difficult thing. That's an engineering thing. So we are differentiating the product between engineered product and non-engineered product. You can easily know this product is an engineered one. It will give me long lifetime. It's a quality one. And you can see another product which is non-engineered product. We have to make the engineering product here because we have the LED, we have the house or the thermal, we have the optics, we have the driver, we have the luminaire. Everybody using the LED, why? He wants to save the energy. He wants to reduce his bill. He wants to reduce the maintenance he needed. So there is an enemy against that one by making the design of the LED. What is that enemy? LED itself, or the chip itself, having lumen per watt, or what we can call it that the efficacy of that array itself. So the array will be up to 400 lumen per watt, which if we compare it with the fluorescent or with anything, it's much higher number. That means with 1 watt I can have 400 lumen. But we cannot use that one alone. We need a house. That house will have a depreciation. Will have 10 to 15% based on the design of the house, based on how I control that house, how I control the temperature inside that house to get less depreciation. So if I said 10 to 15% from that 400 or 160, this number actually it's only a sample number or example. It's not a real case, but it will show you where you are losing in the LED system. Optics, 10 to 30%. Optics is to distribute the light. We need an optics. If we put just the LED and power it, it will go in one direction. You need a reflector. That's reflector. We are saying here optics because the optics is much better than the reflector. The reflector we will lose again some of the lumens in the reflector. So using optics or using reflectors would be 10 to 30% again lose in the first or the initial illumination. Driver is the power supply for it. We call it a driver because it's an electronic chip that's working as transformer, regulator, and inverter from AC to DC. So this is the biggest part where we are losing in the lumen per watt, or we are losing in the efficacy of the light. It's up to 50% based on the design of the driver itself. So at the end we came with the one fixture with system efficacy. So if you go to any fixture right now, you will think what kind of driver they are using here. What is the type of or what is how the house managing the temperature or managing the item there. I will talk about the thermal management more. How is the optics? Are they using optics or there is a normal reflector on it? All of give you a result, will give you the product efficacy. This is one of the LED advantage and disadvantage in the other hand. Advantage that we have the light in one direction. Disadvantage that we have the heat in the other direction. The normal light, we have the heat and the light in the one direction. Why we have a disadvantage here and advantage? Advantage because we have only the light, we focus it in any area, but the optics, this is the area where I targeted, I can focus my light in this area. So I will have the maximum light in that area. Disadvantage of the heat, I know that there is a driver, which is the electronic piece, operating that. If the heat goes in the back, where will be the driver? It will be in the house behind it. So the heat goes to any electronic piece, it will damage it. So this is one of disadvantage, and how by engineering, how by a design a suitable house, you can manage that temperature. Another point in the LED that you can see it in one product and in another product. Sometimes you come to the product, you find economic life 50,000 hours. While in the other one you will find rated life 50,000 hours. What is the difference here between the economic and the rated life? Difference is simple. Economic life, they will take the operational ambient temperature for the product. So if the LED operated from -20 to 55 degrees, they will take the average for the whole heat cycle. So let's say here, it's starting from 25 up to 55. The average of this one will be the economic life. So as economic life, if I'm going to purchase an LED and install it in one location, and I know that location will never change the temperature on it, I will not take a look to the economic life. The economic life will not help me. I have to go to the rated life on that temperature. So for example here, economic life is between 172 to 60, the average of that. While the rated life, if I came to 25, it's 172,000. 30 is between 150,000, no, sorry, 110,000, 130,000. 55 is 60,000. So this is the first enemy of the LED, temperature. Whenever you increase the temperature, lifetime decrease. And it's differ from product to product based on the design. This is here what is the component of the LED. We have this is the fixture. We can see this one everywhere. This is an LED fixture. It's contained of what? Light engine, LED array, LED itself, and the diode inside the LED. So this is the component for LED fixture. Maybe you ask, what is the difference between the LED die and LED array? The LED will have the die inside it with an optics, small optics. The LED array will have set of die in one chip, electronic chip, that's sourced by the engine. This is one of the advantage here in our product, that the optics, as I mentioned, we have many challenges in the LED, in the design of the LED. One of the challenges that we know, the LED is a directional one. It will go in one direction, and we don't want to use the reflector to direct it, because if we use the reflector, we will lose around 30% of the efficacy of the light. So we developed something, we call it optics. That optic came in front of the LED itself and distribute the light in a 3 type. We have the dome type, or type V. That's a balloon one. It's similar to the dome in the HID or in the other light. We have the type 3, which is more similar to the floodlight. If I want to utilize the LED as a floodlight, the floodlight will be like this. And type 1, we use it for busway, the area where we have it, where it's long and not wet. Thermal management. This is what I mentioned it before. The thermal management. This is the main part of the LED design. I said we have the light in one direction and we have the heat in the other direction. I placed the LED array inside an IB rated house, explosion proof house, that will not allow anything to go inside. The junction temperature, we have something we call TJ, which is junction temperature, will be increased. We have only heat inside it, cannot go outside. That will increase and that will affect everything inside it. So in order to solve that one, we came with heat sink. That heat sink, the main purpose of the heat sink for the LED is just to control the junction temperature and take the temperature outside. Although yes, we know that temperature outside is 55 degrees, sometimes more than 55 degrees. However, it's less than the junction temperature that generated from the LED itself. The other thing also to maintain the temperature, is to locate the power supply or the driver in a place where it's not touched directly to the LED, which is separate little bit. That's why we are not believing on the LED bulb. We saw in the market an LED bulb that you just take it and put it in any house. We are believing in a complete fixture just to control the thermal, the temperature itself. If I take any LED from the market and I put it in any house which is designed for incandescent, that will not help to maintain the temperature because that house is not designed for LED fixture or bulb. This is one of the service that we are providing, which is the LED layout. Why we are providing this service, or the lighting calculation we call it. In the LED, it's not one-to-one replacement. We can do it as one-to-one replacement, but we will miss one major part here, which is power saving. I want to save the power. I have 60 watt high pressure sodium installed in my area. I want to replace it with the LED for two reasons. First reason is I want to reduce the power cost, and I want to reduce the maintenance cost. So if I came to replace that 60, one-to-one replacement, I'm not sure which LED or how many lumen I need to replace that 60. Because in that 60, I have many losses, I have lumen maintenance, I have the reflector in there. So the best solution or the best way to know exactly what is your requirement is to do the lighting calculation. By the lighting calculation, I will judge. I need 3 watt, 4 watt, 5 watt, replacing that 60, rather than guessing. What is also required for you to select an LED is to ask for the UL report or the lumen maintenance report. Lumen maintenance report will give you, it will not give you the lifetime for the product. The lumen maintenance will give you information that this item is tested and that having this color temperature, having this CRI, having all of that information, and based on that report, you can implement it in one sheet, which is belong to Star Energy. You can find it in the internet. You can find it anywhere. Star Energy sheet. Just put the information you have it from the lumen maintenance belong to the product. You will get the lifetime for that product directly, based as a rated lifetime. This is the LED, and I'll be happy to have any question regarding.
Guys, we have distributed you the USBs as well. All our product portfolios and products are there in the USBs. You can look into it when you are sitting in front of your PCs. And if you have any questions, please.
No, any question? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, you can see outside there are samples of our products, especially the LED lighting. It's on the stand outside. You can see that.
Thank you, Team Eaton. It was a wonderful presentation, very informative, and everyone must have learned something from it. Exactly the ideas and concepts of hazardous location must be cleared. What is LED and how it was performing must be cleared right now. Okay, if anyone has any questions, you can send your questions to us, and we can forward it to Team Eaton, and they can reply to us. Now move forward. I would like to invite our chief guest, Dr. Mulhim, Mr. Ahmed K. Al Mulhim. He is the chairman, project management chapter, Saudi Council of Engineers. Mr. Ahmed K. Al Mulhim.
Okay, good evening, gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum. It's a pleasure and honor to be with you today to participate in such an important event, a technical event where we always exchange information, exchange experience for the advancement of the members of the association. Again, I came as a chairman of project management chapter in Saudi Council of Engineers. Let me allow me in the next few minutes to brief you on Saudi Council of Engineers. It started as an idea as a result of one of the engineering forums in King Saud University. That was back on 1970, I guess before I was born. 2 years later, the second engineering conference was also held in King Saud University, and the participants were also re-emphasizing on the importance of having an engineering, I would say, umbrella in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Another 2 years later, the engineering committee was formed as part of the Ministry of Commerce. And back on 2003, the Saudi Council of Engineers has been established. The Charter of Saudi Council of Engineers has several pillars, I would say, and one of which is the engineer himself, the advancement of the engineers, the exchange of information, and how we improve the engineers, I mean the members of Saudi Council of Engineers. And this has been attained through a number of technical exchange meetings, through 24 different chapters handling or tackling different majors within the engineering. We have electrical, mechanical, civil, project management, architectural, structural, and so on and so forth. So part of which is the technical exchange meetings, where we keep conducting these meetings, of course, a lot of times jointly with other sister organizations, sister non-profit engineering organization, part of which is the Egyptian, Pakistanis, Jordanian, Indian, Filipinos, and so on and so forth. The other pillar of the organization, I would say, other than the engineer, is the infrastructure for the engineering. And when we say the infrastructure, we mean the educational institutes, a part of which are universities, as mentioned by the colleagues a while ago. Bridging the gap between the practitioners and the academician is an important role, and is very crucial to end up with good, competent engineers. The third item is the profession itself, where the Saudi Council of Engineers try to set the regulations to approve engineers based on their education, and later on upgrade them from fundamental engineer to a practitioner engineer, or professional engineer to a consultant, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of legworks right now on this regard. As you know, it is mandatory for engineers, whether it used to be mandatory for expats, for our expertise, like you gentlemen who come to Saudi Arabia. Few months ago, it has been mandated also on the Saudi engineers to be part of Saudi Council of Engineers, to be members, to have, I would say, a license. Again, this is basically the courses. As for the services provided to the members, I urge everybody to look at these benefits. There are tangible benefits, some of which are quite technical in nature, like offering specialized courses and low-cost fees, freely attending the technical seminars, and low-cost attendance fees for conferences, be it in Saudi Arabia or globally, where the council jointly sponsor 30 or 40 or 50 seats for these conferences, shall the material prove to be feasible and good for the engineers. Not to mention other non-technical benefits, like discounts for insurance companies, discounts for airlines, for hotels, and so on and so forth. Before I conclude my short speech, and excuse me for taking long, I would share with you this piece of information. There is a conference that will be held for the first time with this scope. It is the International Engineering Conference and Exhibition organized by Saudi Council of Engineers, and it has more than 16 tracks. Project management and value engineering is only one track in this conference. It will be conducted between December 3rd and December 7th in Four Seasons Hotel in Riyadh. You are more than welcome, and if anybody needs any support, I would be more than glad to support them. If anybody has any question, it is my job now to. With this, I thank you very much for this opportunity. Thanks, Mr. Asif. And thank you, gentlemen, for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Mulhim. It was a short but very informative. Since Mr. Mulhim is busy and from NEDN Forum, I would like to give him one shield to remember the event, remember all of us who is here. I would like to invite our senior engineer, Misbah Sabri, to come on the stage and present shield to Mr. Mulhim. We are moving ahead with our next segment of the seminar, which is a main seminar for which all of you were invited. This is basically a technical seminar regarding Six Sigma, and the topic of it is Secret of Success of Fortune 500 Companies. It will be delivered by our president, who is the president of the NED Aluminium Forum, Mr. Muhammad Asim Beg. I would like to tell you something about Asim Beg. He is not only the president of our forum. Okay, he is having a lot of things behind his success in his career. First of all, of course, he is a mechanical engineer from NED University. He is a Six Sigma expert. He is the management consultant, trainer, auditor, and he is a frequent speaker in national and international conferences, and which is regarding expertise in strategic management, quality management, Six Sigma, environment, health, safety, BPR, and HR. He has been awarded as the first quality manager of Saudi Arabia by Saudi Arabian Quality Council. He has been also awarded by European Society of Quality and Research for excellence in quality, and he is a certified quality auditor from American Society of Quality. He has executed and supervised more than 100 administrative consultations and trained more than 10,000 delegates in many professional organizations. And I'm sure this is a huge number. He is the CEO of Meridian Quality Management Professionals. And last but not least, he is Masters in Business Administration. Mr. Muhammad Asim Beg.
Thank you for this nice introduction, Mr. Amin, our General Secretary. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I welcome all of you for this technical seminar. When I was coming to this seminar, one of our NEDN called me and I said that, what is the chance, are you coming to the seminar? He said, 99% I'm coming. But today's message is 99.99%. Since this presentation is on Six Sigma, and which is based on failures and faults. So this is one of the example that how fault, in fact, these can come. We are trying to sort it out. In the meanwhile, I would just like to take the advantage of this short time, saying thanks to all of you who are here today, for the Six Sigma presentation. Six Sigma, basically a concept which was given, not very old, it's 1985. It was given by some of the engineers from Motorola. That people who were working in Motorola, they were having serious quality issues at that particular time, and their market share was going down. So what they have done, basically, they tried to use some statistical techniques and some new methodologies, and they come up with this concept of Six Sigma, which was not, when they were driving this system, it was not a planned way that they are doing this Six Sigma actually with this particular name. But after the successful implementation of that particular subject in Motorola, it was very much popular, and it was taken by other companies as well throughout the world. After Motorola, the next company who has taken the fullest advantage of Six Sigma was GE. GE has raised his market share from 20 to 40% that particular time when they implemented it. Most of you are aware of Jack Welch. He was a fan of Six Sigma. And he made a policy, this GE, that nobody can become a manager if he is not a Six Sigma green belt. Anybody from GE here? Raise your hand if any. Am I right? You have to have a green belt at least to become a manager. So this is what the methodology which they adopted in GE, which made them one of the Fortune 500 companies. That is the reason that most of the companies, 80% of the Fortune 500 companies, have successfully implemented Six Sigma in their organizations. What I was telling in the beginning, that when I was coming and I called a guy, an NEDN, fellow NEDN, and he said that it's, my chances are that I will be there in 99%. But the message is 99.99% is not enough. We talk about amass, millions or billions. 99.99% will take you somewhere where you can lose a lot. You can lose the market share, you can lose the customer satisfaction. That's why the concept of Six Sigma came into being. Six Sigma was adopted initially to improve the processes, but how these processes has to be improved first of all. It was initially was in the manufacturing companies only, and it was successfully implemented, as I said, in Motorola and GE, those companies, and IBM or other companies as well. But with the successful implementation of Six Sigma in these companies, it was a revolution when the Six Sigma methodology was equally implemented in service organizations as well. So nowadays, a lot of service organizations like schools, colleges, restaurants, hospitals, they are also successfully implementing Six Sigma methodology to make their customer share beyond. Why Six Sigma is required? Why we talk about Six Sigma? This is the most, you can say that the heard name when we talk about quality management, that Six Sigma methodology. Because the main aim of any company is to satisfy the customers. Customers can only be satisfied when they will be getting your product continuously and with quality. Those ages have gone when the people were only and only talking about the brand. Now the people are talking about cost, effectiveness, efficiency, and quality, that's all. We have seen Nokia. Those ages have gone. It's taken by Apple at the stage. Why it had happened? Due to the quality. They also implemented Six Sigma, of course, and that's why when they said that we are going to implement it. It was a really remarkable achievement for them. Well, I was saying that 99.99% is not enough, because it means that if you are on a plane, which plane would you like to take? Either this plane, where the pilot has landed so many times inconsistently various places, or with a pilot who are consistently within some limits here. Definitely you will choose the right one. That's how the concept of Six Sigma. 99.99% means in the world that you have no phone service for 1 hour per month. Hours per month, if there is no telephone service in the world, even then if you calculate it, it's 99.99% you are on time. You are basically meeting the requirements. But again, we cannot afford to have 1 hour per month of service. It is not possible. Similarly, 5 accidents every month on the plane throughout the world. If we are having 5 accidents per month, it is 99.99%. Nobody would like to have this 99.99%, 5 accidents per month. So what we have to do in this case? We have to be within the range, like the pilot was landing target. So we have to be consistent. For consistent quality, we need something. For that, we need to reduce our quality cost, because quality has certain cost which every company is having. So this is basically the quality cost of any company. Quality cost means the cost which is occurring not only to produce a quality product, but also to save a non-conforming quality product. What does it mean? Whenever a quality department is being established in a company, there are several costs at that. For example, the cost of people, the cost of equipments, the cost of documentation, the cost of inspections, calibration, all these things. These are the fixed costs which we are talking about. But there are some costs which are basically cost of non-conforming product. The cost of non-conforming product means that what cost is occurring if a product is not able to satisfy the customer's need or specification. So what will happen? The customer will simply reject the product or service. So when it happens, definitely there is a cost involved, there is a rejection. The company is basically rejecting the product and it is coming back to you. Or the company is raising a complaint which also suffering or affecting the image of the company in the market. Even though when quality products are being rejected, there are a lot of transportation costs are also involved. So when we say the quality cost, there are 2 types of quality cost. We call this conformance cost, which I just explained, and there are non-conformance cost also, like internal failures, external failures, or loss of opportunity. Internal failures are your own internal failures, which are maybe the item was not properly inspected, or it was not properly documented, or it was not properly delivered. A wrong product delivery, or wrong packaging, it is your internal issues. Similarly, there are some external issues as well which can affect the quality of the product. To reduce those quality external factors, what are the external factors? Like the inspection, external inspection, the product is failed at site. The product was being transported to factory to the customer site and it was damaged. So these are some of the examples of external failures as well. And The last one is the reputation of the company itself. When a quality product or service is being created, there is a lot of questions raised upon the quality of that particular company. Take the example of a hotel. When you visit a hotel and you didn't find the room is clean or a proper service has been provided, so what image you got from that hotel? You said, no, I won't visit that particular hotel next time. So the image of a company is also very important. With every non-conforming product or service, the company image is basically suffering. According to Giran, what he said, that I'm talking about the US industry here, my friends. It's not in this part of the world. 20 to 40% of the total sales of a company in US is going in the quality cost only. Why? Because those processes are not properly controlled. So what is the solution? There are so many solutions for quality improvements. Some are like TQM, Business Process Reengineering, ISO 9000, and one of them is Six Sigma as well. So the Six Sigma, when we talk about Six Sigma is a project-based problem-solving approach that focuses on 3 items. The 3 items which are covered by Six Sigma: number 1, reducing or preventing the defects. Reducing means your existing problems will be reduced by implementing Six Sigma, or preventing from those problems which still you have not faced. So both the problems will identify in the Six Sigma approach. The second one, increased customer satisfaction, of course. When you will be having reduced non-conforming products, definitely your customer satisfaction will increase and it will give the boost to your overall sales. Lower cost with proven financial impact. This is the most important part I want to make as a note for today's presentation. When you go out of this room, you should know that the Six Sigma is only solution in quality management which give you the improvements with the financial results. All the impacts on the financial are noted before a project of Six Sigma, and after the implementation of the Six Sigma, those financial impacts are also compared. Why? That what you have achieved by implementing Six Sigma. I have already gave you this background history of the Six Sigma that was initiated by Motorola, and more than 80% of the Fortune 500 companies have implemented this tool, like Motorola, GE, Boeing, DHL, Samsung, Siemens, Honeywell, 3M, Sony, and many others. These are not small companies. If they have implemented a system, definitely there is something behind it. There is a lot of challenges also when you implement Six Sigma. Of course, the time limitation is not giving me a chance to give you a detailed overview of this, but I will try to just focus on important elements that how the Six Sigma can be implemented in a company. Before that, I just want to give you a brief about what does Sigma means. 1 Sigma is that 690,000 defects per million, 2 Sigma 308, 3 Sigma 66,800, 4 Sigma 6,210, 5 Sigma 230 defects, and 6 Sigma means that your production is so much controlled that you are only and only producing 3.4 items per million as a non-conforming product, which is approximately reaching to 0 defect. Practically, we all know that 0 defect is not possible. So we are talking a little bit theoretically as well here, but it's approaching to 0 in a way that it is 3.4%, 3.4 items or defects per million. When we talk about 6 Sigma, it means that 4 Sigma means no power for 1 hour per week. 6 Sigma means no power for 2 seconds per week. So that's just a comparison of what 6 Sigma means. As I explained earlier, that Six Sigma is not only for the production, but equally implemented in design, service industry, purchase, HR, administration, quality department, management, MIS, and IT. So these all departments are taking equal advantage of Six Sigma implementation. People who have this understanding that Six Sigma can only be implemented in manufacturing environment, it's not correct. It can easily be implemented in other departments also. Now I will just take a little time to define Six Sigma stages. There are 5 stages of Six Sigma. Whenever a project is implemented, it consists of 5 stages. Those 5 stages basically for every project, I already explained in my earlier slide that Six Sigma implementation is basically a project-based management, quality management system, which always been implemented as a project, and there is a team behind it who is working on it. So the first thing which every company who want to implement Six Sigma, they have to establish a quality team or Six Sigma team. And a lot of investment is required with regard to their trainings. So, but those trainings which you are giving initially will give you later a greater impact on your financial impacts. That's why on this time where we all are here, especially in this part of the world, economic situations are tough. Every company is talking about cost cutting. I suggest those companies who are really working and really looking for improvement or cost cutting, instead of cutting the bones, they should cut the fats. The fats are the non-conforming items, the non-conforming processes, which can be done with the help of Six Sigma. The first step in Six Sigma implementation is called define. For every project, suppose the project is in the department of HR, any project, customer or employee satisfaction, or employee performance management system, any system you take. First of all, you have to nominate a project, that which project you want to improve or which process you want to improve. To nominate the process, you need a process of evaluation, which means you need to know that where we are right now, what are the problems, how many times we are not able to provide that service on time, as per the customer satisfaction, as per the employee expectations. You have to evaluate that particular process in detail, and you have to adopt certain quality control measures. There are 7 QC tools which you can adopt here and there as per the requirement of that particular project, to know that what is the current status of that particular process. Then only you will decide, you will select that project, that yes, this is the project and we need to improve it. Why the first 2 steps are required? Nominate and evaluate, because sometime when we select a project, but during the evaluation we came to know that no, it's not very important for us. There are very few financial impacts are coming, or very minor dissatisfaction is affiliated with that, so you drop that project sometime. So that's why this process is very important, to evaluate it first. Without evaluation, you cannot select any project of Six Sigma. The next step is basically the measurement part. When you select a project, now you need to have a detailed measurement. Suppose you select a project of employee performance appraisal. Deliberately I'm giving a project example of a service industry, because manufacturing examples you have everywhere. Because I want to give you a message here also that Six Sigma can equally applicable to the service industry. So if you're talking about performance appraisal system in HR and you select this project to improve in a way, you need to measure a lot of things. That why this, in evaluation process, you have initially have an input data which will give you some of the highlights. These are the problems. So now you will go into the detailed measurement process, while you will be checking the symptoms of the problem, that why this problem is occurring. For example, during the process of performance appraisals, the employees are not satisfied, or the management is not getting the right output from that particular process, and employees are just taking it non-seriously and saying that no, it's just a formality, and nobody is taking interest in this process, which is usually happening in most of the companies. Now you have to do a detailed measurement process. So what you will do, establish baseline measurements of current and recent performances. How many times a performance measurement system was implemented, how many employees were there, what was their overall satisfaction level, what was their concern, that why they said that it's not according to their expectations. So that kind of measurement, it again will require some type of QC tools, which can be scatter diagram or Pareto and some other quality tools. Thereafter, you have to do the same is the outward, the observable evidence of a problem and output. For example, delay, or in the manufacturing it's called a scrap. So again, I'm taking the example of the performance management system. Sometimes it also happens in some companies. I have also noticed in my clients some of the time that some employees, they are totally not interested to implement that process. 100% process is not being completed for some time. So how many times there are delays? Management has to go back to them and ask that, please do your survey, send back the form. Why they are not sending it? What are the problems? Are there really some problem in design of that form? Is there any problem for the really some review of that particular form, or the effectiveness of the overall management system is not being maintained? So you have to see all these things in your measurement process, and you have to come up with a root cause, that why this problem is happening. The next phase is the analyze phase. You have all the data, you have so many sheets, so many times it has been done, so many times it was non-conforming, and you, with the help of some QC tools, you have almost done, and you are very close to get the root cause of the problem. That will be done in the analyze phase. Analyze phase, the data is analyzed to discover the root cause or causes of the problem, as I mentioned before. Why the root cause important? Because for every quality problem, you have to take some corrective actions to resolve it. But sometimes, when you are resolving a problem without analyzing the root cause, it is not effective. It is same as you are going to a doctor and he is advising you medicine without any tests. Why they're asking for tests? Why they're asking for tests? Any answer? They want to identify the root cause. Very good. So until and unless you are not being aware of the root cause of that particular problem, you cannot advise a medicine. Similarly, my friends, in Six Sigma, you need that particular root cause which will come from the measurement as an input, and you will, in the analyze phase, you will analyze in detail to know what is the root cause of this problem. Sometimes root causes are multiple, and you have to address those root causes one by one. Again, you have to adopt a methodology of 80-20, that which cause can be finished fast or which is urgent, by which you can kill the root cause and a proper corrective action can be taken. Before going to our next slide, I just want to get an idea about the corrective action. We have some quality people also here. We have a quality manager here from CAT company, Mr. Keith, and few others as well. Whenever you have a problem, quality problem, and you are taking a corrective action means that you are taking such an action which is killing the root cause. Because if you are not taking an action which is killing the root cause, it is not a corrective action, it is just a correction. And there is another action we call preventive action. What is a preventive action? Any idea? To stop the problem in advance to come. Okay? Okay, gentlemen. So I will just share one case study here and I will just ask questions for you in a minute. Suppose I'm just going from Dammam to Riyadh on a Corolla, 1998 model. And just when I about reach Dammam, half an hour ago, I saw that the car temperature is going up. And I had to stop the car. So when I stopped the car, I just saw that there is no water in the radiator. So I just poured some water. It was okay, and then I started the car. After a few minutes, again the problem happened. Again I poured the water. Luckily I got a service station, I got a mechanic, and the problem was seen by that mechanic, and he said that, sir, your radiator is gone. It has to be replaced. I said, is it available here? He said, no, it's not available. What I can do, I can just make a small building inside that you can go to the Riyadh, and the first thing you have to do, you have to replace it. So I said, okay, no problem. If he did it, and when I reached the Riyadh, I changed that. So I just have to ask this question from you gentlemen. The items which I have taken, the first thing, the problem comes, you have to give me 3 answers. Correction, corrective action, or preventive action. Pouring water is what? Correction, corrective action, or preventive action? Correction. Why? It's a temporary. Problem is not resolved. Then the mechanic put welding. So is it corrective action? Corrective action. Asif, why you are saying corrective action?
Because it's not a temporary.
It's a temporary. You said it's a temporary, my friend. Yeah, you said it's a temporary. It's still temporary, because it will not resolve the problem. The problem will be resolved only when you change the radiator. So what is the preventive action, my friend? Can you just stand up, sir? We should clap for this guy. Before starting my journey, I have to do something. I have to check everything, pressure, temperature, something, whatever we need to do for starting such a journey. So identifying the root cause, why we are doing it? Because you have to take a corrective action. But those corrective action will be done with a process of improvement. That's the 4th process. In the process of improvement, what you have to do, there are certain steps again, that you have to evaluate all the alternates. That if a problem occurs, what are the alternates? What we can do? If the performance management system is not good, what are the alternates? Do we have to change the overall system? Do we change just to change the form itself? Do we have to change the management meeting process only? Or we have to take certain software? So those all things are evaluating the alternatives. Then design improvement, that you have to design according to whatever alternate you have chosen. You have to design that particular process for the implementation. My friends, these are very long processes, which I am trying to just explain you with this passage of time. Design for culture as well, because sometime when you are implementing an alternative, you have to see the risk of resistance as well. Because whenever you are implementing a new system, definitely resistance will come. You have to see your organization, culture, that what are their impacts, their feedback on that. So you need to sit in a bit earlier also. Improve the effectiveness. Effectiveness. What is effectiveness, first of all? Let me have a discussion on that. Effectiveness, and we talk about, engineers are here, efficiency. Oh, we all know that. What is efficiency? Output upon input. Good formula, guys. Okay. Performance. What is effectiveness? This is the management term. Very good. Right decision on the right time, so that the purpose should be fulfilled. The purpose or result should be attained. We have to do the seminar. If we are able to conduct the seminar, we are effective. But how efficient we are, we don't know. We have budget for this seminar, my friends. Are we meeting those budgets or not? That fall under efficiency. Anyhow, and the performance also, there are some feedback forms with you also, so that will also give us a feedback to us that how efficient we are and how effective we are. So by doing the improved process, you have to prove that it is applicable, it is practical, it will work. Otherwise, there is no point of taking that alternative. And the last is you have to implement the process. So when you implement the effectiveness of the process or the improved process, the next one in the implementation that you need to have, that change may require certain changes in processes, certain changes in procedures. As I said, maybe that performance management system has to be, the whole procedure might have to be changed. Maybe some trainings are required further. Maybe a new equipment or a new software is required for that. Or any changes that basically, any staffing or responsibility, you might have to hire one organizational development manager or for organizational development executive for that particular purpose. So these kind of implementation part will come, and in the last, when you implement a system, nothing will be implemented until you put a control on that it will work for a longer period of time. That part, the last part, come under control process. In control process, what you do, you design the effective control in a sense that it can be monitored or an automatic system device. If, for example, if it's a software, the reports are coming in such a way that it will give you an overall picture that the performance management system is under control. And then you have to make a foolproof, you have to make this improvement foolproof, which means that the input and outputs are designed in such a way that everybody will not make a mistake, whether it's a manual process or it's a software-based process. And at the last, for the control, you can put audits as well. While doing the audit, by conducting the audits, you can always monitor the process that whether it is under control or not. If it is not under control, definitely some other actions are required, which means that your corrective action was not accurate. There was some flaw in your corrective action, and then you have to go back and fix it. The last one, my last slide is about the project. That when you start a project of Six Sigma, you need a team, as I said. In that particular team, there are certain people who are heading the project, and then there are some people who are basically supporting the process. So you might have heard about these belts in Six Sigma, yellow belt and green belt and black belt. I researched a bit and I found out a very important factor that in fact it's people said that it's in karate. Actually, those people who were there involved in this whole process development, they were playing that karate also, so they relate that with belts. The initial is those people who require the basic information, which means if a company is going to employ employee of that company require yellow belt training, they should know what is Six Sigma baseline. Maybe a one-day course will be enough for them. The next one is green belt. Green belt are those people who will be key employees or key people who will be involved in different projects. But one thing which is very important while selecting the team, it should be cross-functional. It should not be from the same department. It should be from various departments, because process flows horizontally. Process does not flow vertically. So you need to take cross-functional teams for Six Sigma Green Belt. Usually this training goes up to 5 days. Then black belts. Black belts people, of course, they have taken yellow belt, then green belt, and then they go for the black belt are those people who are basically in charge of the projects, who will head the projects. And a lot of green belt and yellow people, green belt people will be working under him. So he will be the head of that project. So he will take care of the whole project. For example, this is the example of one project of performance management system. So there will be one black belt who will head this particular project. And usually what I suggest, the head should be from HR in this case. And there are some champions. Champions are the lead the organization, which means like the CEO or the general manager, senior manager, who is basically sponsoring this particular project is called the champion. So also got through this particular course of line. The black belt course normally goes up to 10 days with a submission as well. Like for example, if somebody want to go for a black belt course, he has not only to the green belt, but also go up to a black belt with a submission project. He has to submit a project with an improved efficiency, proven, then only he can become black belt. And there are certain other level, we call it master black belt, which is basically if you've done 10 projects as a black belt, then you can become a master black belt. So this is basically what Six Sigma all about. I just give you a brief, a summary in a minute. Six Sigma is, first of all, it's not a theory, it's a practical. It's not just a philosophy, it's a proven methodology, which has proven in 500 Fortune companies why they have become the list of the 500 Fortune companies. The process of Six Sigma is required to improve the business processes so that you can improve the customer satisfaction. At the end, what is the result? The result, what I said earlier, this is the only quality tool by which you can measure the financial impacts of your business management system. If you compare it with other quality tool, for example, ISO 9000, if you get the ISO 9000, even then it is not guaranteed that you will get certain financial impacts. But with the help of Six Sigma, when you complete a project, your financial people will be a part of this project, which will ensure and endorse that yes, this project has improved. Thank you very much. We will take some question answers. If there is no question, there are two possibilities. I am taking positively. There is question. Walaikum salam.
This will be a time-based project or continuous process? Six Sigma, if it is implemented in a company, it will just be a project for some time, or it will be part of process?
A very good question. Six Sigma, as I said, it's a project-based. So when you select a project, some projects are small projects which takes usually 3 months, 6 months, but some project takes sometimes years also to complete. But when you have that particular financial impacts gain and your financial department, we have already achieved the objectives, you can stop the particular project and you can go ahead. So continuous process in a sense that you will move to other projects. The process will not end, but you can finish that project because you have another projects as well. Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you very much for such a passionate presentation.
Thank you.
Very impressive. I have a question, as you mentioned about ISO 9000, and I have previously done ISO 9000 for some company back many years ago in UK. To be honest, I was not very convinced. And I also work with the Japanese in Yamaha Motor Company in Pakistan. So I know Japanese management system also.
You have worked for Kaizen and 5S.
Yeah. So I put up a question with you that could you give a little comparison between 3 ISO 9000 Japanese management system and the Six Sigma. Six Sigma is pretty new to me, But as I said, I was not impressed with ISO 9000. It's more documentation than
You're right.
you come to the
You're
right conclusion, the point.
Thank you very much for this question also. ISO 9000, maybe it is for effectiveness only, but Six Sigma is for the efficiency as well. You really get some fruits in terms of financial benefits as well, proven financial benefits. And the next item you mentioned, the Japanese management. So I just compare, I was just reading in a column that the difference between American system and Japanese system. Yeah, I will just finish this first. American, they put like 20% in planning and 80% in implementation. Sir, you have worked in Japanese. What they do? Reverse? All 70-30 maybe or something. So they more intent toward the planning activities. That's the difference.
Is Yasir, thank you for the presentation. My question is this technique useful for a newly established organization, or does it need a well-established organization to be implemented?
It is equally good for both the organization. Why we talk about the old organization? Because they know already their problems. So it is more useful in a sense that when you go through with the DMAC process, define, measurement, implement, so in those processes you need certain data. So from where you get those data? So if you don't have data initially, you will not be able to improve something. For that particular thing, there are other tools also required, other tools are useful like TQM and business process reengineering. Those can help you in that case. But in Six Sigma, definitely you required certain datas.
Thank you, Asim. It was a good presentation.
Thank you.
My question is that during the measurement part, when you get the data, which can be objective and it can be subjective.
Yes.
So this technique is more applicable in subjective kind of data or objective, or it has to be a combination of both?
Yeah. Since we are talking about statistical process control, these data are always objective. Because those data has been taken from actual processes and actual non-conformities. So those data is always objective. No subjective data is considered normally in Six Sigma. There are certain processes where we talk about HR processes, for example. Maybe some subjective tools will be taken in that particular process. But when we are in manufacturing processes, definitely it's quite objective. Sir,
yeah.
I hope I have given your answer.
All right, Asim, it was a brilliant presentation,
Thank you,
and
sir.
my hat is after you. My question is, since you mentioned is a time-based, is a project, we always look in project management, the time and the cost. As my colleague asked previously, you give a very rough, we always based on productivity and performance when we allocate time. Either it's construction or engineering, we based on deliverables. Now in Six Sigma, if you find a problem and you go through those steps which you mentioned, how would you assess the timeline and the cost benefit that, okay, after this would be my achievement?
Farooq Saab, you have highlighted very important point in this question, which is covering almost every aspect of Six Sigma, what if the other questions were there. Your first part of your question, that how it is ensured that the targeted performance is being measured or achieved actually. When you are in the process of measurement, actually you're also, because that was a very short time for my presentation, there is one more detail about this, that when you identify the root cause being identified with the current cost of the process as well. That what is the current cost of that particular process? Suppose I give an example. I was doing a process consultancy project in a company where we were taking a process of employee is going on vacation. So when an employee was going to a vacation, I did an ABC, which is called activity-based costing. There were 20 steps in that particular process. I'm not going on detail because we are short of time right now. The total cost of one employee going on vacation was 2,000 Riyal. And after the improvement of that process, that was just reduced to 300 riyals only. So how it is achieved? First of all, when you are identifying the root cause, you're also calculating the cost of the current process. And you target that particular process that within this time frame, we have to reduce the cost from, for example, 2,000 to 1,000 in 3 months. And then from 1,000 to 500 in the next 3 months. So objective based. This is how it is going on.
Thank you so much, Asim bhai. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Yeah, time you have already taken too much.
Thank you.
We are going to the closing, towards closing of this seminar. Before this one, before our award ceremony and the closing ceremony starts, okay, and in the last all the participants will have a photograph, a picture, photo session, okay, so just to make this seminar as a memorial for everyone, memorable for everyone. Here is one slide, okay, it is related to NEDians. They are not only engineers, there are a lot of talents hidden in them. One of the examples we are able to share with you is our engineer, Dr. Arshad Raza, who wrote a book. It's a poetry book, and it is excellent poetry because I have a copy of it, and I have read it, and it's excellent poetry done by him. Okay, his name is An Inspirational Journey Through Stanzas. You must read this book. I would like to ask Dr. Arshad, please stand up and wave. Now, I would like again our president, not as a one of the seminar presenter, now our president, NED Alumni Forum, to come and do some closing remarks. And I can just say that you have seen him speaking, and you can see that he's a good speaker. One of the poet in Urdu said, "Nigah buland, sukhan dil nawaz, jaan pursoz. Nigah buland, sukhan dil nawaz, jaan pursoz. Yahi hai rakht safar, mere karwan ke liye." Muhammad Asim Beg, President, NED. With this one, I'm already on the stage. I'm the General Secretary, Muhammad Amin. I will like to ask Amir Siddiqui to come forward, come on the stage. Our Javed Shuja Muhammad, he's a Technical Secretary. Ashar Ali Zaidi, NED Liaison. Kamran Ahmed, Publication Secretary. Fahad Karim Khan, our Social Secretary. Social activities, busy right now outside, but he will join us. Then we have Ahmad Salman. Oh, Fahad is there. Okay, now there, other than this is the executive committee standing here. Now we have other members of our executive committee. Mr. Ahmad Salman, Mr. Zubair Razak, Muhammad Zubair Razak, Asim Javed, and Sajid Ali. We all have put efforts to make this seminar happen, and we have done really hard work on doing that. But we request all of you to keep this harmony among us. We should strengthen this platform to more and more activities and things to be making it memorable for every one of us. I would like Muhammad Asim Beg to say something.
Thank you, Mr. Amin. Now, as a president, I would like to congratulate and thank all of you. Special thanks to our sponsor, Eaton. Without their support, definitely it is not possible. And we need this kind of supports from other sponsors in the future as well, because we all know that this is a non-profit organization, and we always do this as a non-profit, and we need sponsors for our future events as well. With this, we also want to thank our senior people, senior NEDians, who joined us today, and a special thank to Mr. Javed Inam, who is in Canada, who sent a message to us. Mr. Misbah is here, our senior member, Farooq Saab is here. So sir, we need your support. Always when we see you guys, you people as a senior gentleman, our NEDian become more and more energetic. So could you just please, two people can stand and people can see you guys. Farooq Saab and Misbah Saab. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to thank Sarosh Lodhi also for his message. And I also want to thank all of you guys. So for that, I would like to have one last thing. Just stand up and clap for yourself. Please. Thank you very much. From here, Mr. Amin will tell, sit down,
I would like to call Mr. Imran Sheikh to come on the stage and accept one shield, okay, just to make you sure that you participate in this event, and thank you for your support to all. May I call Mr. Farooq to please come on the stage and give the second shield to Mohammad Asim Beg, who was the presenter for the 6th.